"Nathan, meet my mother." Kate led me to an elegant woman in her mid-40s. Olivia extended her hand. "Glad to finally meet you." Our fingers touched, and it felt like an electric shock. Her brown eyes met mine, and time stood still. Something flickered in her gaze. Surprise? Recognition? And she quickly looked away. "Kate has told me a lot about you." My voice sounded strange. "I hope only good things." She nervously adjusted her hair. During dinner, I couldn't stop looking at her. Graceful movements, slight smile, the way she pushed back her hair. Everything about her drew my gaze. I caught myself wondering, what was Olivia like in her youth if she looked so stunning now? "Mom recently divorced," Kate whispered to me, "trying to start a new life." New life. Why did those words make something turn inside me? "Nathan works a lot at the clinic," Kate was telling her mother. "Best neurosurgeon in the city." "Really?" Olivia looked at me with interest. "Must be very intense work." "It can be, but when you're saving lives—" "A noble cause," she smiled, and I felt my breath catch. After dinner, we went out to smoke on the terrace. Kate didn't approve of this habit, but I just couldn't quit. "May I?" Olivia appeared unexpectedly. "You smoke?" "Sometimes, when I'm nervous." I offered her a cigarette, held up the lighter. The flame illuminated her face, and I noticed the wrinkles at the corners of her eyes. So charming. "You make my daughter happy," she said, exhaling smoke. "I try." "Good," she looked into my eyes. "Because if you hurt her—" She didn't finish the phrase, but I understood. And somehow it didn't sound like a threat, but something else. "Never," I replied, holding her gaze. We stood too close. I could smell her perfume, something floral, with hints of vanilla. "Mom? Nathan?" Kate's voice made us step away from each other. "We're smoking," Olivia said quickly. "Well, saying goodbye." That night I couldn't sleep for a long time. Olivia's face, illuminated by the lighter's flame, stayed before my eyes. And I knew something irreparable had happened. The first year after the wedding, I carefully avoided meeting Olivia alone. At family dinners, I sat far away, was pointedly polite in conversations. But each time our eyes accidentally met, the air between us seemed to crackle. "Mom asked why you stopped visiting her," Kate said one day. "Lots of work," the standard excuse. "Maybe we'll stop by today, it's her birthday." I knew I shouldn't, but I agreed. Olivia opened the door wearing a dark blue dress that perfectly accentuated her figure. "Happy birthday," I handed her a bouquet. "Thank you." Our fingers touched as she took the flowers. A shiver ran through my body. The evening dragged on endlessly. Kate talked about work. I nodded absently, secretly watching Olivia. The way she moved, how she brought the glass to her lips. "I'll get dessert." Kate stood up from the table. "I'll help," Olivia and I said simultaneously. "Stay seated," her daughter waved her hand. "I'll manage." We were left alone. The silence rang. "Why are you avoiding me?" she suddenly asked quietly. "You know why?" "I know," she looked into my eyes. "I feel it too." "We can't." "Can't what? Feel?" I stood up, went to the window. Her reflection appeared beside me. "Nathan!" "Don't!" But she was already too close. I could feel the warmth of her body, the scent of her perfume. "Look at me!" I turned. A second, and we were kissing. Desperately, hungrily, as if this kiss could be our last. Her lips were soft, demanding. Her hand slid under my jacket. "Dessert's ready!" Kate's voice made us jump apart. Olivia quickly fixed her lipstick. I took a sip of wine, trying to steady my shaking hands. That night, I couldn't sleep. My lips burned from her kisses. One question kept spinning in my head. How long could we resist this attraction? Everything changed after that kiss. We started exchanging messages, finding excuses to meet. "Need to discuss Kate's gift," she wrote one day. "Can you stop by after work?" I knew I shouldn't, but I went. She opened the door in a silk robe. "Come in." "Olivia." "Shh." She pressed a finger to my lips. "Don't say anything." The next moment, our lips met. Her light clothing slid down, revealing a beautiful silhouette. My hands gently glided over every curve of her figure, lips slowly descending down her neck, shoulders. We made it to the bedroom, hastily disposing of unnecessary clothing. She emanated a sweet, alluring vanilla scent. It had soaked into the bedding and hung in the air. Everything merged into a dizzying whirlwind of sensations, gentle touches, quiet sounds, whispers of sweet words. Afterward, we lay in the darkness, bodies intertwined. "What are you thinking about?" she asked, tracing a finger across my chest. That I'm the worst scum. We both are, she kissed my shoulder, but I can't stop wanting you. This became the beginning of our secret meetings. At her house, in hotels, once even in my office at the clinic after a shift. Each meeting was like the first. Passionate, desperate, as if it were the last. We lost our heads over each other, forgetting about everything else in the world. You've changed, Kate noticed one morning. You've become different somehow. Tired from work, the usual lie. And in the evening, I was at Olivia's again. She met me wearing that same blue dress.
I love undressing you, I whispered, unzipping it.
And I love how you do it. Her voice trembled with desire. We were in the grip of passion for several hours. Every moment was filled with power and desire, ardently, uncontrollably, until our strength was completely spent. This is madness, she would say afterward. Complete madness, I agreed, kissing her again. But we both knew stopping was impossible now. Living a double life proved harder than we thought. Every call, every message had to be hidden. Every meeting required perfect coordination. Staying late at the clinic, I would tell Kate. I have a meeting with the realtor, Olivia would tell her daughter. And then we would meet in a small hotel on the outskirts of town. The room on the second floor became our sanctuary. Sometimes I imagine how we could live together, she whispered once, as we lay in bed after a particularly passionate encounter. Don't. Why not? Because it's impossible. But deep down, I dreamed of the same thing, of waking up next to her every morning, having breakfast together. What are you thinking about? Her hand slid across my chest. About you, always about you. We gave into passion again, slowly, tenderly, quite unlike our usual way, as if trying to memorize every touch, every sigh. We almost got caught once. Kate came to her mother's without warning when we were in the bedroom. Mom! Her voice from the hallway. We froze. I barely managed to hide in the bathroom. Just a minute, darling. Taking a bath. Then she kept her daughter distracted with conversation while I snuck out through the back door. That was close, she wrote later. Too close. But the danger only fueled our passion. Each meeting became more intense, every touch more electric. I'm going crazy without you, she would whisper when we couldn't meet for several days. Me too. I think about you every minute. And it was true. I couldn't concentrate on work, forgot important things. All my thoughts were only of her smile, her body, those moments when we became one. Are you cheating on me? Kate's question hit like a gunshot during dinner. What? Of course not. But my voice betrayed me with a tremor. Don't lie, I saw the messages on your phone from My heart stopped. I had forgotten to delete the conversation with Olivia. It's a colleague. Really? Then why do you delete all the messages? And why does she write, miss you, waiting for our meeting? At that moment, the phone rang. Olivia. Kate looked at the screen and her eyes widened. Mom, why is she calling you in the evening? Probably something urgent. Answer it on speaker. I answered. Nathan, Olivia's voice was agitated. We need to meet. Urgently, I can't anymore. Mom, Kate interrupted. Silence on the line. Kate, you're there. Yes, Mom, I'm here, and I'm waiting for explanations from both of you. Darling, this isn't what you... Don't dare say this isn't what I think. I saw tears streaming down her cheeks. How long? Kate, how long? 6 months, I answered quietly. She stood up, went to the window. Stood there for a minute, too. You know what? I don't even know which of you I hate more. Sweetie. Olivia's voice trembled on the phone. Don't call me that. You're no longer my mother, and you, she turned to me, you're no longer my husband. Please, let's talk. About what? About how you met behind my back? How you betrayed me? How... She didn't finish, grabbed her bag, and ran out of the house. An hour later, I was at Olivia's. She opened the door with tear-stained eyes. She's not answering calls, she said instead of greeting. I know, I've tried too. We sat in darkness, not turning on the lights. For the first time in all our meetings, there was no passion between us. Only bitterness and guilt. What now? She asked. I don't know, but I know one thing. I can't be without you. Nathan! No, listen, I love you, really. What's between us? It's not just passion or lust. It's love that destroyed everything? Maybe, but could we have resisted? At that moment, the doorbell rang. Kate stood on the threshold. I knew I'd find you here. Her voice was icy. She entered the living room, turned on the light. You know what's the worst part? I noticed the looks, the touches, this strange energy between you, but I didn't want to believe it. Daughter, be quiet, just be quiet. She sat in an armchair, took out a cigarette. So what do you plan now, to be together? Live happily ever after? We didn't plan anything, I replied. It just happened. Happened? 6 months of secret meetings? That just happened. Kate, Olivia stepped toward her daughter, we never wanted to hurt you. But you did. And you know what? You deserve each other. Two selfish people who don't care about others' feelings. She stood up. I'm filing for divorce, and I don't want to see either of you ever again. Never! The door slammed. We were left alone. She's right, Olivia whispered. We deserve each other. And now what? Now we need to decide. Was it worth it? I looked at her. Beautiful, broken, but still desirable. For me it was. I love you, Olivia. And if you're ready, I love you too. She took my hand. But love doesn't always win, does it? No, sometimes it destroys everything. But sometimes something new grows from the ruins. We stood in the twilight, holding hands. Ahead lay uncertainty, society's condemnation, loss of family, loneliness. But we knew being apart would be even worse. Stay, she whispered. I stayed, because sometimes love really does win, even if that victory brings pain. A year has passed. We live in a different city. Kate married again. They say she's happy. And us? We're learning to live with the guilt. But every morning waking up next to Olivia, I understand some mistakes are worth making, even if you have to pay such a high price. Did you like this story? Let us know in the comments what you liked. Subscribe to our storytelling podcast. Also, don't forget to like and ring the bell so you don't miss more interesting stories. See you soon.